In this video, we're going to take a look at multi-body modeling inside of the sheet metal environment of Autodesk Inventor. So here I have the smmultibody.ipt from our working files directory. Now what I have here so far is an extruded surface with two boundary patches on them, which basically creates a closed surface cube. Now the only reason I have it as a surface is because I want this as a volumetric sizing for a sheet metal box I'm going to create. Now, the sheet metal box I'm going to create will consist of multiple part files that basically need to turn into an assembly of a box. However, I can do a lot of that design work inside of one file by using this multi-body technique. So I'm going to begin by starting a new 2D sketch on this front face. And on my sheet metal tab, I can see that I basically need to have that sketch there first to create a face of some kind. But I don't see any geometry projected. So let's make sure that we project our appropriate geometry here. There we go. Finish the 2D sketch and start my face command. So I'm creating a face coming outside of that volumetric sizing of that box, and I'll choose OK. There we go. Now if I do another 2D sketch on the right side of this box, again projecting my appropriate geometry. Here I'm just rotating it so I can see it better. Finish the 2D sketch and start the face command. Now I have the option to create this as a join to the existing face or create this as a new solid. Well, the way I'm going to create this box is the front and the right will actually be the same piece of metal, but just bent. So here I do want to do a join. However, I want it to offset the opposite way. And I'm going to zoom into this corner down here so you can see what's about to happen. When I choose OK here, it's actually going to look at my unfold options and my bend options and apply an appropriate bend between those two faces. So it's a traditional join that we would do there. Now over here on this side, I'm going to do another new sketch. Again, projecting my appropriate geometry. Finish the 2D sketch and start my face command. This time, instead of joining it, I will choose a new solid option. Notice my bend controls go away. And I can also offset this out. Now what happens at this corner will be different because it is a different solid. Now it has its own unique corner there. I do another 2D sketch over on this surface. And again, projecting my geometry. Grab my correct lines here. Finish our 2D sketch. Start the face command again. Again, offset this out. Here I can change that bend radius or adjust the edges where the bend goes to. Some of these options are a little bit more advanced for what we're doing right now, but I do want to do a join to this solid. I'll choose OK, and there we go. So currently I have two solids inside of this. If I expand that node, I can come in here and rename this to, let's say, part 1 and part 2. Now, what about the bottom side? Well, I guess I could build that into that as well. I mean, I can build it into part 1 or part 2. So I'll go ahead and start another new sketch on this bottom face and project my geometry. Again, choosing what's appropriate here. Finish the sketch and start my face command. This does say I have an open loop found in the profile because you'll notice down there I actually picked an internal edge, not the surface edge. So I'm actually going to go backwards and fix that. Just unproject those and make sure I only get the edges that I really want. Finish our 2D sketch. Start the face command again. And this time I am going to build it out as well to the outside. Now, which one do I want to merge into? Well, I like to merge into this one. But which edge do I want the bend to be on? I'll have it be on this edge. You can see you get a preview of the bend that will go in there. I'll choose OK. You can see that it's now bending around to the bottom side. Because of my settings I had for my corners, you can see it did leave a gap here in the middle, so things bend accordingly around that. Obviously, those are all just settings you can adjust with your different options available inside of sheet metal. And the top I'm going to leave open because after all, it is a box. But what we saw here was the process of creating new solid bodies inside our sheet metal tools. And we can do that with our different commands, such as contour flange, contour roll, lofted flange, as long as we have a sketch that is viable. So let me turn the visibility of that sketch back on. You can see if I start contour flange, the new solid option is there. If I were to start contour roll, the new solid option is there as well. If I started lofted flange, we also have new solid there too. So with all these new creation methods, we have that ability to create different solid bodies.